Hi guys, it's Phoebe from Who's Phoebe and welcome back to another Doctor Who video. As you guys know, I am doing 24 days of Doctor Who where I review 24 classic Doctor Who episodes as we continue counting down to Christmas. Now there is not that many of these videos to go now because today, as I'm filming this, it's actually Wednesday. So yeah, there's not many more of these to go now, which is really quite crazy. And I've got travel training today, so the next video I film will be ready for tomorrow. But yeah, so today's review is Revenge of the Cybermen. This is a nice 4-part story. It's not too long. I think it's the perfect length for any Cybermen story. I'm also including Earthshock in that as well, a 5th Doctor story. The only 5th Doctor story with Cybermen in it. And there was also a Dalek story with one Dalek story with the 5th Doctor. But yeah, so you guys know how these reviews work. I give my positives, and I give my negatives, and then I give the story an overall score of 10. A mark out of 10. And if you've never seen my face on your screens before, please click that big subscribe button down below, and also click the notifications bell so you get notifications every single time I upload. So it's officially now 6 days till Christmas, which means we've only got 6 of these videos left. So 6 more reviews and then I've got the Christmas special to review coming out Christmas Day. The time for that is at 5:10. So Doctor Who's just gone and broken its longest standing record. Anyway, on with the video. I really like Revenge of the Cybermen. I know it's not everyone's favourite Cybermen story, but this is really good. So, using the time ring, the Doctor, Harry and Sarah land on Nerva in an earlier time period, so before the Earth solar flares and everything like that, so way before then. And there's this planet called Volga, which is basically made up of gold, which is really not good for the Cybermen because, as you know, or if you know the history of the Cybermen from the very first Doctor Who story, they are allergic to gold. It gets into their chest units and they don't like it. So, you know, it's not ideal, but anyway. So this story is a really good one because it's a 4-part. So when there's a space plague going on, turns out it's not actually a space plague. There's a cyber map that's been injecting stuff into the humans and they automatically assumed it was a space plague, which is interesting because anyone would think that, not knowing what this type of creature is, because it literally just leaves 2 bite marks on the side of a victim's neck, and I just felt my vein in my neck when I said that. That's kind of weird. And Sarah Jane is played by the late Elizabeth Sladen, is the next person to come under the victim of the space plague. But the Doctor knows how to cure her, which is by transmatting her down to Volga, the planet made of gold that the Cybermen hate. So Harry goes down with her and they're stuck on Volga for a bit. The Cybermen's plan in this is to send the Doctor and the Commander and the other guy down to Volga with cyber bombs on their backs, and they can't take them off because the Cybermen have very cleverly booby-trapped them. So even if they attempt to take the bombs off their back, they will explode. So it's not ideal. So the Cybermen have thought of everything. So they give the Doctor and co 14 minutes to place the bombs and to get off the planet. But thanks to one of the soldiers blowing up the Cybermen, the Doctor is able to take off the harness quite easily after that, because technically the bombs are no longer active as of this moment. So I do like that element. The Doctor decides the best way to deal with the Cybermen on Volga is to basically get a handful of gold dust. It's funny when Harry's first down there, because when he sees gold, like, he's like, I can pay my way out the Navy, I can get a private practice, I can get a gold stethoscope. So it's actually really, really funny that he actually, like, thinks that he can actually think like that. Like, if he takes this gold from Volga, he can actually pay his way because he's rich. Like, I just love his reaction to that. That is, like, probably the best reaction to a planet you've never been before that is full of gold. Anyone else's reaction, I feel like my reaction would be exactly the same. Like, yeah, anyway, so I do really like this story. I think it is so good, especially with, like, the Cybermen and everything, because the Cybermen are different. Like, every single Doctor, every single incarnation of the Doctor who has encountered the Cybermen, and I'm including, like, David Tennant in this, and Matt Smith and Peter Capaldi, although he encountered the Mondasian Cybermen because they were his favourite when he was little watching Doctor Who, so Stephen Moffat decided to give him the Mondasian Cybermen. But most of the Cybermen that the Doctors have encountered, the first Doctor first encountered the Mondasian Cybermen, the very first Cybermen that we ever saw on screen. Every Doctor has encountered the Cybermen in different forms, because over the course of Doctor Who, the Cybermen have evolved. More so in the modern era, they became less sort of like metal, kind of these silver suits, and more metal. Because in the classic years, they didn't have the boots that sounded like metal like they do now in the modern era when it comes to Cybermen. Because I don't know if you've noticed, but in the classic era they have very quiet footsteps and feet and stuff. So the fact that in the modern era they decided to go for the full metal look, metal outfits and everything, definitely goes to show how much the Cybermen have evolved over the years. They were on a parallel world, but that is still exactly the same, because they literally used the same thing again when the 10th Doctor encountered them again. But I feel like their appearance in that second appearance was kind of overtaken by the Daleks. But I'm not reviewing Doomsday right now. That's for another time. If you guys want me to review the modern episodes starting from Eccleston, I'm more than happy to do that. Anyway, so the Doctor goes back to Nerva because the Vulcans have decided to set up a rocket that would basically destroy the space station that the Cybermen would be on, and the Doctor tells the commander how to manoeuvre the rocket so it hits the Cybermen ship, which it does. So the Cybermen are destroyed, bish bash bosh. You think it's all over. It's not. It's not all over. It's by far anything but over. Because then you have Nerva being crashed into the planet, because when the Cybermen's plan, the bombs, originally didn't work, they resorted to plan B, which was to pilot Nerva into Volga in order to destroy it, which is not good. It is not good. That plan, again, did not work, because thanks to the Doctor's quick thinking, he was able to use the planet's gravity to shoot Nerva back off into space and have it settle in orbit. So thanks to the Doctor's quick thinking, Volga wasn't destroyed and it remained a planet. However, after Revenge of the Cybermen, we have no idea what happened to Volga after this. In the Time War, it's not mentioned. In the Time War, you assume it's destroyed because the Daleks are destroying every single planet. They are becoming the supreme beings in the universe. So presumably in the time war Volga was destroyed. But what really annoys me is the fact that after this episode we have so many different incarnations of the Doctor. We have the 5th Doctor. You'd surely think that at some point the 5th Doctor would drop into conversation what happened to Volga. And you'd think because of the Time Lords they've changed their non-interfering policy now because of the Time War foreseeing that and everything. You'd think the Time Lords would know what's going on now as well. So there's no mention of Volga ever again. So this is a really good story, especially because the Doctor shouts, "Harry Sullivan is an imbecile," when he tries to take off the bomb. So that's actually really, really fun. And also I like Harry's idea of how to get him and Sarah Jane out of the chains. They've got metal chains around their legs, and Harry's like, gold is quite a soft metal, which it is. Gold is actually the softest metal ever. So it's like, if we can get a rock, he can smash their way, which is actually really, really good. Except what I find really hilarious is he literally insults Sarah Jane's ankles by saying, "Tibias, your tibias are like a cart horse," and she's like, "My ankles aren't thick." And I just find that to be so blooming hilarious. Like, it is so hilarious, like, you know, like the way he says that. I definitely, when it comes to this story, love their friendship. I love their friendship throughout this series. And I miss it afterwards when Harry decides in Terror of the Zygons not to travel with them anymore. But that Terror of the Zygons is for tomorrow. So overall, I'd give this story a solid 10 out of 10. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up if you did, and make sure you click the red subscribe button down below, and also click the notifications bell so you get notifications every single time I upload. What I'm going to do now is upload this video, watch Doctor Who now until I fall asleep, which will be quite late because I napped for like 4 hours before I did this video. Yeah, I napped for like 4 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, because I fell asleep at like 7 and didn't wake up till 10:30, so I've got a feeling I'm going to be up at now half the night, which is fine. But yeah, so give this video a thumbs up, and in the words of the 10th Doctor,